let's keep talking about Avery. Yeah, let's keep talking till he's set free. Oh, you just listen, I think you'll see why it matters, really matters. Put aside the documentary, the state version ludicrousy. Oh, all their claims so blatantly get torn to tatters. I think that matters. I bet you heard about her last sweat, but maybe you ain't heard this yet. 19 more times the DNA that was left anywhere else that day. I think that matters. I really do. I think it matters. An ex-boyfriend with a day planner page, but yet they did not investigate. And who knows why, and who can say why he was signed into the crime scene that day. I think that matters. I really do. I think it matters. About the barrel that once was seized, but then returned to the Averys. The bones were found the next day, but not one photograph exists of where they lay. I think that matters. I really do. I think it matters. I could go on listing things off, 80 more things, but I just keep on singing these songs till Avery freedom rings. I said it matters. It really, I know it matters. It could be you, I think it matters. It could be me, I know it matters. Work with Casey, it matters. I said it matters. It really matters.
And there we go. And you know what else matters? It matters that we all take an interest and really keep this thing going. And so, given the topic of what I'm going to talk about tonight, I'm going to start out by saying this, that I absolutely applaud any press agencies that are actually giving this any coverage. Because number one, even if they're not maybe getting it completely accurate, which is kind of an epidemic at the moment, even if they're not getting it accurate, they're bringing awareness. They're getting people's attention and getting them thinking about Avery and Dassey again. And so in that sense, it's good. But what I want to warn people here tonight mainly about is be careful where you're getting your news from, because, you know, the Newsweek article, what I was reading of the Newsweek article that came out recently, although I love the fact that Newsweek covers it and is calling attention to, you know, this and Zellner and all that stuff, although I'm happy for it, but I'm not so happy with kind of the way that they got it all wrong, because you know why? Because then people like read that and they think that that's accurate. And then they start, you know, making, they start thinking that that's what's happening. And so it's important, I think, for people to consider, you know, where you're getting your MAM news from. It's important. I mean, it's great to read the Newsweek articles and those people out there that jump on because something big happens in the Avery case and they want to report on it. Great, awesome, I love that. But not everybody gets it entirely accurate, right? So today we're here to talk about that and moving forward, all of us have to kind of consider that. We want to be responsible as supporters. We want, we want to be responsible. We want to make sure that we're not reacting to false information. And a lot of people out there who haven't been following this case, like me or Ali Apperson, or the number of other people who've been following this since pretty much day one. For me, it was January 15th of 2015 when I watched Making a Murderer. But not everybody has the benefit of the knowledge that we've accumulated in that getting on 3.5 years now. And so when people don't have that, they read the Newsweek article and they don't realize that there may be some inconsistencies there. They don't realize that there may be some maybe errors, that the person writing the article, although with the best intentions, just maybe didn't know enough to really get it really accurate. So that's something we need to talk about, something we need to consider, something we need to think about, because where do you want to go? Where can you go that you can trust you're getting accurate news? Where can you go for that? Well, I was talking to Travis today and he had a suggestion, but before I get into that, let's take a look at the chat here real quick and let's see what's going on in the chat. Hello, everybody. Let's see here. Thank you, Kate Hollenbeck. Great, it is in the news. Yep, Travis, right? Let's see. Drinking not your father's root beer. Interesting. I get put on break, too much texting. Let's see here. Yeah, well, it's like I say, I think that the Newsweek, whoever it is over at Newsweek that's jumping on this, has the best of intentions. The problem is I'm worried about the people that are getting kind of misled by it. The people that are reading that stuff and then coming into the Facebook groups and coming into places and thinking, oh, Stephen's getting out now. And it's like, well, no, not quite. I mean, and then like, it's just so much explanation. So, where do you want to point people for accurate information about Making a Murderer, Steven Avery, Brendan Dassey? Where do you guys want to point them at? What do you think? The mainstream media is the enemy of the American people. So is Pig Sukowitz. Newsweek headline was Making a Murderer, Steven Avery won his appeal. Good grief. Right. It doesn't, that doesn't explain. That just makes people think, oh, Steven's getting out, right? It's not very accurate. But even when I went into reading the article a bit, it seemed like it had some inaccuracies, right? So anyway, it's truly my husband brought home to try 2 years ago and I was addicted. Oh, the not your father's root beer. Let's see here. Linda, you say me? Oh, well, thank you. I think this channel is a good source for people to come and get accurate information. As you know, we put up the documents. We put up the motions. We put up the orders. We put them up. We highlight important areas. We create slideshows to make this stuff understandable here. So I'm flattered and honored that you would say that, Linda. Thank you very much. We are trying here. And, I can tell you for certain that we were a month ahead of Newsweek on the bones being given back to the Hall box. Here on this channel, we were a month ahead of Zellner and Newsweek. So, it may be that this might be a place for people to consider coming for their accurate MAM news. That's, fair point. I go to Casey's Twitter to read the news articles she reposts. Yeah, that's a good idea. Nancy Grace muffed it. Steven Avery wins appeal. Will there be a new trial? Local news, your trusted YouTube channel. Thank you, Belinda. Let's see. Yes, the not your father's root beer. Okay. Drinking water, had surgery. Okay. TikTok. Dang it, anonymous. There's nothing that I like or respect about Nancy Grace. I come here. Thank you, Elia. The Green Bay paper got it right. Almost. Stephen Avery to get circuit court rehearing on Lost Bones. Yeah, that title is actually fairly accurate to what's happening. Let's see. Most trusted to you. I know. Thank you guys. You guys are great. I hope more and more people will decide to come here for their news. I'm hoping that maybe what will happen is that in the future, when they see something from like Newsweek or something like that, that they will immediately go, oh, something big happened. I better head over to Erekose's channel and find out what it was. That would be awesome. We're trying to be accurate. We're trying to give people a straight, the straight dope here. We're trying to give people the honest, actual, facts. That's why we have Travis here. That's why we have Tracy Strunsey comes on here sometimes. Those are two people that are learned in the law. Okay. And they understand it. Tracy, particularly because she's in Wisconsin, she knows that local area and the way the law works there. So these things make this channel a good place to come to get pretty accurate assessments of what's going on in legally in this case. So I hope that is something people start to think. But I also have some other suggestions besides just me. So I will be getting to those. So. Yeah, we have Travis and Tracy. Exactly. Yeah, I actually heard on the radio station here in Texas, Stephen won his appeal. So the radio stations are listening to Newsweek too. Crazy. Yeah. Is for sure crazy. Let's see. Curious how the battery will tie in and how Bobby and the battery is it's gonna be an interesting thing how that's gonna come in. Thank you, Linda. Erekose is the best source. His passion allows him to dive deep, and he puts in such care into creating the right atmosphere for being informed and well spoken. Thank you so much, Marion. Thanks for what you do. I get most of my updated news from you. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Erekose and the Wrecking Crew. Woo, woo. Yep, the Wrecking Crew. I love the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew are a great bunch of people. In any and all, research groups. Obviously you got people over on Reddit that have had their community over there on Reddit for a long time, and they've all been working together, and they've been kind of coming over and dropping into the Discord community and to over there in the Wrecking Crew. And there's been some interesting, a lot of interesting conversations going on over there in Discord in the Wrecking Crew. So, it's, no matter where, whoever, there's even been other Discord communities created. I applaud everybody. Wherever you go to research and create more awareness for this case, I don't care where it is, wherever you go to do it, I applaud you for it. So it's awesome, and hopefully it'll keep going. And then the more people that are doing that, hopefully the more chance there is we're going to get these press agencies to be more correct and to be more, precise in their reporting. When the collective knowledge of, when more and more people get up to date on the facts of things, it kind of permeates outward. So hopefully we'll start getting some more accurate reporting eventually. To look for Zellner, TikTok, and Erekose. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I'm glad that I get mentioned with those two, because TikTok Manitowoc is one of my favorites on Twitter too. That dude, man, that guy has been researching this case. That guy doesn't stop. He is good, and he's finding interesting stuff all the time. TikTok Manitowoc is the man. So to be mentioned with Zellner and TikTok Manitowoc, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm honored. Erekose is one of the best daily sources for the moving info. Yep. Thank you, Robert Shaw. Oh, I loved Nancy Grace until this. She is an idiot. Yeah, well, I didn't have an opinion about Nancy Grace either when I came in 2015, in January of 2015. But by like February or March of 2015, I decided I thought Nancy Grace was a complete waste of time. But yeah. Let's see here. I think when you find your place, you don't leave. Yeah. Pretty close for Green Bay. That's exactly what I did last night. Hey, everyone, let's shoot for 100 likes by the end. Let's see here. Oops. You do when the chat jumps. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Facts and understandable discussion. And there's also there is also much fact on Discord. Absolutely. Dancy Grace and Kratz are one and the same. Definitely peas in a pod. Doing a great job, Erekose, Travis, Tracy, Allie, everyone. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. And thank you for including everyone, because everyone is doing a great job. When I couldn't find anything in the news, I searched YouTube, and this is how I found you. This was during the first time I read Brendan was getting released, and then nothing was getting reported. Ah, yeah, that's interesting. And I was covering Brendan strongly here. So that's awesome, Allie. Thanks. That's really cool. Let's see. You're the one I come to whenever I hear anything new. Awesome, Deborah. I rely on Tracy a lot, and you have to have someone local. It is good, yeah, to have somebody local who understands the way the law tends to go in that area, right? I mean, it's a good thing. See, them don't matter to me, but I guess slimy grease balls. And if you really are passionate, join the wrecking crew and get involved. Absolutely. Hopefully my moderators will show up here in a minute and start posting links to it. They were talking about wanting to do so last night, so I'm hoping that will happen here in a second. They may have just not gotten here just yet. Let's see here. You get an A+ and much respect with love. Oh, thank you, Charla. Nancy Grace KK should marry one another. Perfect match. Let's see. I bet there's a couple are. I bet best there are a couple of them are waiting for him to walk out of prison, which is sad on many levels. Yeah, a lot of people may have misinterpreted Newsweek's headline and thinking Stephen's getting out. So that's why I say to be careful, and and if you think coming here is a good trusted source, then suggest to other people that they should come here to find out. If they hear something in the news about MAM, come here to check out if it's true. Even if I'm not covering that topic that night, you can come into the live chat and ask a question. Generally, we'll be able to answer it for you. So, but yeah, come here. We'll, we're always trying to get accurate information to everybody. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's backside. I'm interested in what's happening, and that's what I want to report on, is what's happening. It's just, so that's what we're at. That's where we're at. It's what we want to do here. So I'm so glad that many of you appreciate it. And if you do think that this is the place to come, then feel free to suggest it to others, and feel free to suggest some of the things I'm going to say later on here. Some of the things I'm going to suggest. If you think you can find at least a couple of reliable sources, you are much better off. Get to an accurate account of the facts, and then let opinions spring from credible facts. Exactly. Instead of having opinions coming off of facts that may not be entirely solid, right? So it's better to have people coming and getting going somewhere, even if it's multiple sources. Because trust me, you can get Tracy Struncy over on Facebook, and now she has a YouTube channel where she puts the lives that she does on Facebook onto YouTube for people to watch. You've got me and Travis here. And then there's also one other thing I was going to mention was the reporter from Rolling Stone. Her name is Travis. Travis will tell you that he is very impressed with her reporting, because he just thinks she does an absolutely phenomenal job considering what she's reporting on, which is law stuff, right? So her name is Amelia McDonnell Perry. It's hyphenated. McDonnell Perry is hyphenated. And she writes for Rolling Stone, and Travis he highly recommends her. If you see an article from her, read it. He definitely feels that you guys can consider that a trusted source, because she actually does have a pretty good understanding of the law, in his opinion. And so that's something you might consider. Truly Reddit users have helped this case, and for sure an unsung hero. Yeah, they aren't looking for all the laurels and the anything like that. They just do it quietly over there, and they're awesome. And now they've gone on to Twitter because they're trying to get the message out. and they're awesome. Sean Atwood. Oh yes, Sean Atwood, another great source. He's obviously not talking about MAM as much nowadays, but maybe I'll chat Sean up here in the next week. We'll see if we can get him back on the channel and have a little MAM chat. You know, it's probably fairly likely he'll do it because, you know, him and I are buds. So I'll see if I'll reach out to him and see what we got. Oh, there's Denise Rainey with the Wrecking Crew link, folks. The Discord link, if you're looking for it. Denise posted. Sean is great, absolutely. Finally caught alive. Let's see. You and TikTok are my go-to on YouTube and Twitter. Oh, thank you, Carla. Carla Burgess. Let's see, putting an innocent person behind bars for life is worse than murder. Yeah. People who do this knowingly should be held accountable. Absolutely. Hate it when the chat jumps. Let's see. Yeah, if I hear anything about MAM, I wait for you first before anything. Denise is here. Yep, I saw her. She posted the link. The only one I trust. What is the Wrecking Crew? The Wrecking Crew is a community of people who, when I started going live on October 19th, when MAM2 released, I started going live for my channel pretty much every day. And just the community of people that were pouring into my lives every day, they wanted the conversations to continue beyond the live chat. And out of a desire for that, they used something called Google Hangouts, and they created this hangout where everybody would go and talk. And then eventually people didn't just go there after the lives. Like, they just stayed in there talking about the case all day. Then eventually we reached a point where, and so they started, this collection of people began to call them, they started out as Kose heads. Then John Frack's book came out and stuff, and everybody kind of got to liking the name Wrecking Crew. So then it became Kose's Wrecking Crew. So that's what the Wrecking Crew is. It's a collection of people researching and going over the stuff in this case, and, you know, trying to further research things and find new things out. So that's what the Wrecking Crew is. Anonymous. Let's see. Erekose is top 15 in MAM info. It's been an eventful day. I'm running on fumes. Oh, no worries, Denise. No worries, no worries. Let's see. Anonymous, look up in the chat. The link is there. Yeah, Denise just put the link for it. You can go check it out. The Wrecking Crew is a group of us that truly try to help the cause. Check it out. They brought the bones being given back to Zellner. Yeah. The Wrecking Crew is the one, you know, they were researching that day while I was at work, and they were like, oh, wait a second, what about that page in Queso? And they put it together, and we went live that night, and we were reporting it here a month before Zellner filed her motion regarding it, and a month before Newsweek reported on it. So it may be that this is a place to come for info. You just have one of those very likable voices and an attitude, and well as personality. Oh, thank you so much, Caden. I'm proud to be part of the Wrecking Crew. Yep, Linda is a very, very solid part of the Wrecking Crew. We love Linda. I wonder if Kratz tried to play the accidentally texted them card with the domestic abuse victims. He's seriously, yeah, wouldn't put it past him. And she used it to stay the appeal, so we truly made a difference. Thanks for all the veterans who found the research and brought it out to KZ. Absolutely. I mean, once again, much kudos to Carol Ann Fitzgerald for getting on the phone and getting KZ on the phone and pointing it out. Thanks to everybody out there researching this case who you know, realized the significance of that, you know, when we reported it and all that stuff. I mean, this is why it's important that we're here. It's why it's good we're here. It's why us people, you know, us John Q. Public people taking an interest in this and being able to do what we did, for instance, in that case with the bones. I mean, you know, we're part of it. You know, we get to be a part of it. Not a huge part, but we get to be a part of it. It's cool. Legal understanding. Thank you to Travis Williams. Okay, name again, please. Oh, that reporter for Rolling Stone. Oh, yeah, that's Amelia McDonald Perry. Amelia McDonald Perry. Parry. McDonald Perry is hyphenated. He surely is. Thank you. I'm joining right now. Let's see. One of my favorite is when yourself and Travis explain the documents and read through in slides. Yep, that's the motion for post-conviction relief that we're kind of going over so people can get an understanding of it. Sean Atwood is awesome. Yes, she really is awesome. Now she is biased in favor of wrongful conviction issues, but she gets accurate facts. Here's her tweet. Let's see here. It is so scary that these horrible so-called leaders did what did to Brendan and Stephen, and yes, it can to you and one of your loved ones. Absolutely. ICYM. Here's why Stephen Avery's case just got remanded back down to the circuit court. A huge victory for. Oh. Let's see. Can I ask you about MAM1? First episode, about 48:16. There's a girl in that spot that interests me. Girl in what spot? Always credible on this channel. Thank you so much, Jer Dog. So where do you think is good is a good information? Amelia McDonald Perry was one. Tracy Strunsey is another. I wouldn't put it past him. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Ali. Thank you. From my perspective, we are trying to take a very complicated issues and an unfamiliar procedure and put it into understandable form as possible. Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do. And we like to refer to the document so that you can come back and look at it. Right. We want people to have seen that in even though they're listening to us talk about it, but while we're sitting there talking about it, people are seeing it on the page, right? If their first thought would have been to have doubt, well, then that doubt immediately dissipates because they're seeing it on a page. So that's why we try to do that sort of stuff. We're not just trying to talk out of our butts here. We're not just trying to blow smoke up people's backside. We're trying to give people the accurate information, the most accurate information that just comes from knowing the terrain. I know the terrain because I've been researching this for 3.5 years. Travis, he understands the law. Tracy, she understands the law, and she's been in this for 3 years like I have. So she trumps Travis and I in that sense, So these are the places you want to go. People that are familiar with the cases, people that are familiar with what's been going on, and people that are going to be able to give you an accurate assessment. And that's what we try to provide here and give you accurate information. At times joking around and relieving stress from the case. Yeah, a little bit. We love the Wrecking Crew. Thank you, Nas. Glad you're there. Well, it should be interesting. Let's see. I am sometimes the comic relief. Yeah, Ziggy. So is Linda. Linda's often comic relief. Let's see. Amelia Magritte is her Twitter account. She is followed by Zellner and Buting, if that means anything. Okay, so though, folks, Amelia McDonald Perry, right here, Travis is showing you. That's her name at Zaomelia, basically. Anyways, you guys want to check that out? Here, let me just repost this for you, everybody, really quick. That's the information for the reporter that I just posted in the live chat there. That's what Travis was saying. That's how you can follow her on Twitter if you want. So, like I said, trusted sources, folks. Trusted sources. We want accurate information. I appreciate a lot of these news sources. As I said, I appreciate that they want to report on it. I appreciate that they want to bring attention. And I totally appreciate that. But I want you folks, all you people, you matter to me. Okay, you people that are taking an interest in this case and want to know what's going on, you people matter to me, and I want you guys to get the accurate information. So I want to warn you about some of these press agencies. They're just jumping on it because it's sensational. It's the big thing to talk about, and they may not get it actually factually correct. They may not actually do a very good job of getting it, fully right. Okay, but the fact that they are bringing exposure and bringing attention to the case, I'm not, that's why I'm not coming down on them hard. I want you guys to understand, you got to pick and choose where you get your information. You got to determine where's a good source of information and where's not. And hopefully that's what we're helping you do here today. But you can still appreciate the sources that are inaccurate, right? We can still appreciate them for what, for them, bringing the attention, trying, catching people's eyes, and getting people thinking and talking about Steven Avery and Brendan Dassey. But ultimately, we all need to be a little bit more diligent, and we need to make sure we're getting our news from credible sources. So, oh, Pink Lady Lux here. Hello, Pink. Let's see. May I humbly suggest, when you find a good source and they get it right on the case you are following, you shoot them a quick tweet and say that you appreciate them getting it right. Good advice from Travis there, folks. Yes, we are a full service research community, facts, comedy, tanning salon, bait and tackle. List goes on and on. Tracy is amazing too. Puts things in words we can understand. Absolutely. I always try to do that. Because it's rare, right? Yeah, to let people know that they're doing a good job, right? Hi, glad to be here. Hey, Pink, how's it going? Travis does a great job explaining some of the court's law. He does. He absolutely does. It makes it better to understand, And it's funny because I was talking to Travis today, and he was like, he ended up reaching out to me because he liked coming to my channel, and he actually felt like when I was reading the court documents and stuff, he actually felt like I got it, or at least that I was getting it pretty well. And it was one of the things he said that kind of drew him to me and got him to reach out to me. But I mean, that's awesome. I mean, but we're always wanting more informed opinions here. I mean, that's why I eventually I had gotten Steve Moore on, because God, no, that was awesome, because his informed opinion means so much, in terms of investigations, just as much as what Tracy and Travis offer in terms of legal. What he offered in terms of investigations was phenomenal. And I do hope to do another, interview with him eventually at some point. But that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring good information. We're trying to bring, accurate information. That's what we're trying to do. So, Big E was all about the evidentiary hearing from the get-go. Glad to hear it, Pink. Glad you're doing well. Let's see. Actually, you are great too, Travis. It's so fantastic for us to have a real attorney to explain the legal. We love you. Yeah, I mean, isn't that cool? Because I'll tell you what, for the first year and a half, 2 years when I was doing videos, I always wished I had somebody that I could really, turn to for the legal a little more sometimes. I understood what I was reading for the most part, but I just didn't understand the law. So I didn't understand the nuances of a lot of, somewhat of what was going on in a lot of those briefs. And Travis, now that we've been going through these things, has kind of made me aware of kind of what I was missing and things that I needed to, kind of pick up on and notice too. So it's a learning experience. And hopefully with everybody here is coming along and watching these videos, you all are having the same learning experience I'm having. Hopefully. That's hopefully what we're all doing together as a community. So, big thank you to Denise Rainey and guiding us through Discord. Yep, Denise is the bomb. She's very helpful over there. Let's see. You really should not call Steven. Everyone is so important in this. Everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone. Had my drink. Let's see. No doubt, Mean Green. Imagine how much an attorney makes an hour, and imagine how many hours Travis has in this. Right, exactly, right? Any opinions on what will happen after this hearing that they accepted yesterday? I am so hoping he will get a retrial. Okay, that's a good question. So, Kate Hollenbeck, what we're looking at right now is the appeals court has ordered it back to the circuit court for fact finding. They have ordered Judge Suk to read Kathleen Zellner's brief that she's going to file in 14 days. Now, we know from the way that this went last time that Judge Suk could be completely obstructive again. If that's the case, she will not ask for a response from the state. She won't ask for a reply from Zellner. She will just read the motion that Zellner files, and she will just deny it and send it right back to the appeals court, right? That's a possibility. Or she could get smart and start to see some of the writing on the wall and realize that her last decision about Brady has already had a decision from the Supreme Court of Wisconsin that has already reinterpreted the interpretation of Brady. And she may be looking at this going, maybe I need to take this seriously. And so she may actually have an evidentiary hearing this time. Let's say she does. Let's tiptoe through the tulips of that little I don't know, dream, I guess. But let's say she does. So she holds a hearing. Zellner gets in there. She gets on Tom Fallon, Jeremy Hawkins, gets on those guys and whatever, and gets it point blank, whatever. They gave away evidence that should not have been given away. And she argues her case, for the statute and then Youngblood and all that. And let's say it's successful. Okay. And say Judge Suk rules in Kathleen Zellner's favor on this issue. The bones being given back to the hall box, right? On this issue. If Judge Suk were to grant an evidentiary hearing and rule in Zellner's favor on it, then that would mean a new trial for Stephen. Yes, that is a possible outcome here. And that's probably the most desired outcome here. But we have to see how Judge Suk is going to play it this time. That's going to be a big part of it. If Judge Suk does what we expect and she just kicks it right back to the Court of Appeals, or if she has an evidentiary hearing and then rules against Zellner, then all that information goes back and becomes part of Stephen's appeal. And then the appeal moves forward. Let's see. Kratz watch. Let's see. Travis Williamson. I was defending you in a very recent show you were on. I sensed disrespect and I was annoyed. Erekose finds the answers here on Kratz watch. Let's see. You guys, phone dying, and it's me, Betty. Bye, time. Good night. Oh, see you, crazy Daredale lady. I gotta appreciate the thoughts, but I have seen you comment and provide input along with everyone else. Everyone adds something, nothing more than the other. It's everyone that matters. Absolutely, it's everyone that matters. Everybody taking an interest. Everybody making this an issue. Everybody keeping this talked about. That's what's important. What is the best case scenario out of this? They have a trial at the circuit court and SA gets relief. I just explained the best case scenario, so hopefully you were listening to that. I meant tiptoe through the tulips of that. Anyway. Spitting bourbon, I mean Dr. Pepper. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. I told you our cozy, I got my law degree with you in a year. You give me so much information and it's so factual that I actually got a college education through you in this case. That's funny. Maybe some university needs to give me an honorary degree or something. I don't know. Anyway. Judge Suk is clearly not. She's clearly obstructing. It's obvious. Let's see here. Yes, everyone is in this together. Absolutely. Hello there, M and Greg. Erekose 101. If she does rule in favor, what would the cops do, you think? Get Bones back from a hall box like they were never out of evidence? They would have to do that before Judge Suk ruled in Zellner's favor. Basically, once once there's a ruling on this that the evidence was disposed of, it's too late. I would think it's too late. I'm sure Travis will come into the chat and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I think it's even too late at this point for them to try to get him. But I did hear Travis talking with somebody once about the fact that they could ask the hall box to get those bones back. They could try to get their hands on those bones again. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. But I think by the time there's a ruling, I think it's definitely too late at that point. But Travis, I'm sure, will let us know. Which Judge Suk gets to both say gets to say there will be an evidentiary hearing and be the judge over the evidentiary hearing itself. Yeah, it's her court. It's her court. So it's her running it, essentially. Yeah. I know it sucks because we know how obstructive she is. So that's why the appeal is important. That's why the state was trying to get Stephen to drop the appeal for the bones. Folks, you got to look at the whole picture here. The state is trying so many different games to try to get out of this and wiggle out of this. It's ridiculous. Hey, Jamie finally got out of the driveway. So having a toddy. But you, bud. Hopefully the judge will actually call for an evidentiary hearing. Yeah, absolutely. I would hope and think so. Yeah, we hope so too. But she's been so obstructive to this point. No toddies, but plowed out. No roof. Now roof cleaning time. I don't trust Judge Suk. Yeah, none of us do, really. I think you're right, but say the Hallbox have the bones. Is there any legal way to turn them back over? As I said, it is possible that it could happen, but like I said, if it happens after a decision's made, I think it's too late. They're basically destroyed evidence at this point, right, counselor? They can't cover it up at this point. The Hallbach family can request the bones be exhumed if they are buried. Or KZ can request a court order for them to be exhumed, and the state can join in that. There needs to be a new judge, period. Yeah. Legally, I'm asking, can they turn the bones back legally? Wouldn't it be considered tampering with evidence since they were secured in custody? Travis. Yeah, Travis. So how does that work, buddy? I mean, aren't the bones, wouldn't the bones maybe possibly be contaminated now because they left, secured evidence lockers and who knows what was done with them at this point. So does that make them, unreliable as evidence at this point? Okay, so yes, Caden, that could be an issue. They could be contaminated at this point. Even if they were to be brought back, they could be contaminated at this point. So that could be. Those bones were released. Could only be used towards Stephen Avery to know if there was contamination. Right. Okay. So there we go. There would have to be some testing done to determine. But what it comes down to is these bones have to come up first. So the Hallbox have to get the bones and get them back to the state's hands before any of this can happen. Before any of this is all academic until that happens, basically. So seems like no one knows where the bones are for sure. They could be dumped into the ocean. No, they were given back to the Hallbox. The Hallbox have them. They're buried in a vault or in the ground somewhere. So they're somewhere. But anyway. Do the Hallbox know they have the bones? Yes, they do. When the bones were taken to the Weeding funeral home, they were eventually packaged, put into an urn, whatever it was the funeral home did with them. And then the Hallbox were made aware that those were supposed to be Teresa's bones, and that they were burying. See, if they were not in fact given to the Hallbox, then Lucy, you got some splaining. You got lots of splaining to do. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, so that's funny. That's hilarious. So, like I said, folks, it's important. It's important to make sure you're looking for credible sources. Credible sources. I mean, it's great to go read the stuff that comes out that goes, hey, Stephen Avery is, or Brendan Dassey is, whatever. It's fine to read those or whatever. Go over and check them out. But just remember, go to one of the places with people that you know have been following this, people that you know about this, people that you can trust. Okay. A lot of people are saying me, I'm flattered. Thank you very much. But there's also Tracy Strunsey. There's Travis. There's, the reporter that Travis was, talking about over at Rolling Stone, Amelia McDonnell Perry. There's probably even some more out there, obviously. John Frack, absolutely. John Frack. I love John Frack. I think John Frack does some pretty accurate reporting. And I like John Frack. So there's another one I think that's pretty well trusted. Look for trustable, reliable sources, folks, and then promote those trustable, reliable sources to other people so that they don't get misinformed, or at least so that they can understand when they see something that isn't quite right, so that they can get the accurate info, so that when they see an article that isn't quite getting it right, they can kind of figure out what the article is trying to say because they actually know, right? It's all about being informed. Knowledge is power. Knowing is half the battle. You know what I mean? Those are like cliche sayings, but they're so flippin' true. They are so flippin' true. Knowledge is power, and knowledge is half the battle. What if they were cremated? Is that a slap on the hand of the state? If they were cremated and burned more, then they're destroyed. Yeah, that would be it. The thank you list is so long. Jamie, AG, yeah, AG, Adrian Gonzalez, Lucy, Ali, Denise, Julie J, Julie Pom Pom, JB, on and on it goes, folks. We got lots of people over at the Wrecking Crew, quality people. Let's see. I think you're right, but say the Hallbox have the bones. Is there any legal way to turn them back over? We need a cartoon of Zellner with Judge sucking her crosshairs. Ooh, that's interesting, Lutz. It's very interesting. I think I might have to get Susan on that. Let's see here. If they were not in fact given to the Hallbox, then Lucy got some explaining to do. Let's see. And John is invested deeply in the case as well. Yes, always double check something that you read in the news. Can't hurt nothing, right? I could go on and on and on. Again, thank you very much, Erekose. I'm staying. I'm staying, and that's that. What if it turns out they are not TH's bones? I don't know, Anonymous. I'd have to think about that, honestly, to think. I can't imagine it being anybody else's bones, but, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how to answer that question at the moment. Hallbuck may have the bones, but they are not Teresa's bones. If they found they are not Teresa's bones, would not that be a clear indication of a cover-up? Well, I think if they found that they weren't Teresa's bones, I think that would actually work in favor of the state. to be honest, even though they actually gave them back, assuming that they were Teresa's bones. That's what makes this such a mess. Kratz said he couldn't waste 20 seconds talking about those bones at trial because the best that could be said about them was they were possible human. And then they're giving them back to the hall box. I mean, how did they make the determination? Right? But, you know, we'll have to see how that unfolds. The Wrecking Crew posts all links for credible info on Discord. Let's see. G.I. Joe. Smash the like button. Let's see. Any new members? What if the bones are not THs? Yeah, I've answered that question to the best of my ability at the moment. At Lisa, it would raise many, many questions. For now, KZ is confident that they are TH, and she is using it to get a new trial. Her theory is that this proves planting. Right. So let's see. Yeah, what if they took a Jane Doe and burned cremains to have some evidence? Well, that's kind of what people have always thought with like Carmen Boutwell. So that's a theory, but there's been nothing else to come along to suggest that it may be, you know, that it may have happened, basically, is what I'm getting at. If they do test those bones and they get a profile that's not Teresa's, I guarantee you the Redditors, the people that are gung-ho about the Carmen theory are immediately going to go and figure out if it matches Carmen. Trust me. I guarantee it. It's huge if they are not TH's bones, but the state would have to answer for whose they are. Exactly. What if they are Carmen Boutwell's? Context is key. KZ wants the bones to show they are human. They are TH. They are in MGP, and they were planted. Exactly. She's trying to show that they moved from Manitowoc County gravel pit, that they are Teresa's, and that the bones in Stephen Avery's burn pit actually started where all these other bones started, or where all these other bones were. That they were moved from there to Stephen's pit. And that's what she's trying to establish with this. That's what's important. But now that they're gone, she doesn't even have to establish that now. Now that they're gone and been given back to the hall box, now all she has to establish is that the state got rid of biological evidence that they shouldn't have gotten rid of. That's all she has to prove. Okay? So that's why I'm saying the state and the hall box have to come up with those bones now. Okay, because if they don't come up with those bones before Judge Six, before this comes to an end, then I think it becomes moot. So that's in my opinion. Also read somewhere there was another young woman that was Carmen Boutwell. But if they are all animal bones, would that not pose the question that she absolutely was not killed by Avery? Potentially. Let's see. The main thing is it pokes so many holes in their timeline for that night if the bones are moved. Absolutely. If they are CB, let's just say they are going to say that Stephen Avery killed Carmen Boutwell. That's true. I just believe they are that crooked. Any one of the bones from Avery Salvage Art Quarry never were identified 100% as TH. They never tested them, Russell. If not, that would have been a huge holy Batman. And that clearly shows planting and or being moved. See, I think the KK posse never imagined that Stephen Avery would ever have a good defense attorney. They figured that it was all said and done and that no one would ever look further into the case. I agree. I'm sure that's exactly what they thought. KK and posse never saw that Zelnami coming. Let's see. That is true on the bones. However, the FBI established that the bones belonged to a child of Teresa Halbach's mother. So, interesting. So if I were KZ, why even bother testing them? The testing is really, I don't know. I don't even think the testing is going to happen at this point is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say right now is that the testing is now not even an issue. The testing can't happen, right? The testing can't happen. You got to think about it, right? The testing can't happen because the bones are gone. That violates a statute. That violates Stevens' due process rights. That triggers a new trial. Doesn't matter if the bones are Teresa's. It triggers a new trial. Okay, if the statute is ruled as violated and it violates Stevens' due process rights, new trial. That's it. Nobody has to test the bones at that point. It's a new trial. New trial, start over again. Re-argue everything, right? That's what a new trial will mean. So that's where we're at. Thank you, Chase. Okay, no, some other one. Okay, so if they show a constitutional violation, new trial. Exactly. Not sure where I fall in this line. You might notice something on the left side called general. It'll have a little hashtag next to it. It'll say general. That will be a text chat where most of the members of Discord are. I actually have a video too. Thank you very much, Chase. Let's see, guys. Let's help support the cause. Let's get these guys. Let's get these guys know that we recognize his efforts and we appreciate it in one more way tonight. Thank you so much, Chase. Very kind words. Thank you so much. In the civil 1983 case. So, yeah. So, so I think that's, like I said, just to kind of sum up here a little bit before we go to Casey. It looks like everybody's getting tired and wants to go to bed anyway. But like I said, be careful. Look at where you're going for your information. Watch out a little bit. Obviously, yeah, it's great. Newsweek is jumping on board and reporting on this and getting people's attention. But, those of you who are out here and watching my channel, make sure you're looking to be a little more informed, better informed. Don't just believe some of the wild stuff that you hear coming out of the press sometimes. Go to the places where you can trust the information. That's why I suggest there's probably more, but that's why I suggest Tracy Strunzi, Travis, John Farrak, Sean Atwood. Those people are good sources for information. They're going to give you accurate information, and they've been studying this long enough. Oh, and Amelia McDonald Perry, the reporter from Rolling Stone. Those are places you can go where the information is going to be accurate, really pretty fairly accurate, more accurate than you're going to find it anywhere else. And possibly me. You can come here to me on my channel. Obviously, Travis is here. Tracy comes here. We've had Scooby on here. We're doing our best here to try to get people the information and, so that there can be less confusion. So that's the whole point. Make sure you're looking for credible news sources when it comes to MAM. Remember who said it first. All right. Who said it first that the bones had been given back to the hall box? It was right here. It was the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew figured all that out long before Zellner and Newsweek did. So come here. We're going to show you the documents. We're going to show you the real deal. We're not going to just be blowing smoke up your behind, right? We're going to give you the straight dope. Find your place and get involved. Absolutely. Get Scooby back here, you mean in Discord? Let's see here. I hope she does it, Russell Gatan. Yeah. Thank you so much for, in my opinion, you're the black belt of MAM. Dude, what is up with Fresh Start Mondays? Dude, I got to reach out to that guy. I haven't talked to him in a while. I want smoke up my behind. Okay. But that means inaccurate information, Linus Knight. Come on now. You don't want that. Yeah, if you live in Wisconsin. Oh, yes. By the way, yes, if you live in Wisconsin, there is an election coming up for Supreme Court justice. I suggest if you live there, get informed about it, figure out which one of the guys you like, and cast your vote in that. You know, one of them's really kind of a real forward thinking when it comes to criminal justice reform. So that might be a good bet for some people. But hey, I'm not telling anybody who to vote for. Go educate yourself about the candidates, but get out there and vote. Make your voice heard. Right? That's what I'm saying. Get your voice heard. Make sure. Okay. All right, so I think that's about a good time now. We'll cut over to Stacy here, play a couple songs from Mr. Stacy Seabrook. And let's go with
Don't get straight, no, I ain't getting straight. Don't get straight, I ain't getting straight. I'm sick of the suffering, it's and the pain. Don't get straight. Well, we know the story. Oh, ain't the way they said we can see they got you printed, totally insane. Don't get strange. Everything they got, questionable evidence, gathered by and wall. But it makes such sense why they're in the game. Don't get strange. Don't get strange, oh no, oh I ain't getting strange. Don't get strange, I ain't getting strange. And that lying, that cheating, that predatory sweaty, anything he says, you can throw away. He's a legal stain. Don't get strange. Only we finally find out who's to blame. Don't get strange.
I think we are due for a Captain Crunch session.
There's something going on. Freedom is in danger. Agents of the state, they're taking children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They needed someone on Jody wouldn't flip. They looked around, saw him quick. Oh, it made so much sense why. Oh, Brendan Dassey, he was Stephen's alibi. There's something going on in Wisconsin that's not kosher.
Everybody stop, let's all take a look closer.
Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They visit him once, they visit him twice. They make him feel so safe. Sandwiches, soda, so nice. No cameras rolling and under no lights. Who knows what went on up in Fox till Monday night. There's something going on. Freedom is in danger. Everything about this case getting stranger and stranger. All we know, they will sacrifice your kid. For Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did.
Hit that like button, folks, on your way out.
March 1st, alone in a room with Bert and Ernie. No parent present and no attorney. 4 hours later, with a touch of the knee, they finally get Brendan to agree. There's something going on. I said there's something going on. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. There's something going on. I said freedom is in danger when the agents of the state can take the children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. Take Brendan Dassey, oh, that's exactly what they did. Wisconsin can be so cold. The scales of justice can erode. If we accept lies big and bold. Oh, we forget. We live on Avery Road.
You're welcome, Go Mean Green.
We live on Avery Road. Should be easy to see. This could be you, could be me. We shouldn't sit by idly, accepting everything that we are told. I live on Avery Road. I live on Avery Road.
We got Judge Will Fox, Travis.
Avery Road.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the generous people super chatting. Thank you everybody for paying attention. And you know, get out and talk to people about what I was talking about here today, about finding their trusted sources. It's important. It is important. Look for trusted sources, you know, suggest trusted sources to them, explain why things like Newsweek aren't quite getting it right and why they need to be a little bit suspect when they read those sources. You know, these are messages that are important, and people are out there supporting Brendan and Stephen. They need to get accurate information, because when they get inaccurate information and then end up finding out later that it was wrong, it ends up discouraging them. It makes them want to just stop and not support anymore and stuff like that. So it's important that we want to keep people educated. We want to get them with the right information so that they don't end up feeling jaded you know, because they got some wrong information at one point, and then, you know, because it happens, it does. Okay, so it's important. We need to be spreading the information. We need to be spreading the you know, the whole intent of getting proper information, proper, accurate information. Can't say it enough. It's very important, folks. Thanks you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you